Well, hello and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Washington Demon Coaches Show. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Today I'm joined in the studio by some pretty special guests, Activities Director Brent Van Weelden, Head Washington Demons football coach Nick Ehret, and one of my favorite players on the Washington Demons football team, Braden Hartman. So this is a segment that is going to be recurring, and we're going to be talking with other coaches from the Demons in the future and getting to know a little bit about their sports, where they are in their season, previous opponents, next opponents, things that they're looking at to make their teams more successful. But first I wanted to start with Brent Van Weelden, who's the Activities Director at Washington Community School District. And Brent, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As I was kind of joking with you on off camera here a little bit ago, what exactly does an activities director do?
Well, some people may not think a whole lot, but a lot of my stuff happens behind the scenes. Once the game or the concert or whatever's going, usually, unless someone needs kicked out of the game or something, my job's pretty much done. But a lot of it's scheduling, looking at schedules. A lot of it's hiring. Officials or umpires. A lot of it is just making sure we have workers, for concession workers on Friday nights, chain gang. There's just a lot of different things that go on, and troubleshooting when something doesn't go the way you want it to.
Do you have to go to pretty much all the activities or most of them, or how does that kind of work?
Well, I go to all the football games, home and away. All the home events are shared between myself, Mrs. Bean Blossom, and Mr. Kloffenstein. Generally, you'll see all three of us at about every event anyway, but sometimes I'm in charge, sometimes I'm not. But usually there's something that one of us has to do or take care of, and then maybe passes it off the supervision to someone else. But it's busy. It's a busy time right now. We just had our first meetings about homecoming, which is September 23rd, so we're already starting that process and getting a lot of phone calls about when it is and what's all going on. So.
And appropriateness of floats, is that a big question?
That's right,
you get?
Appropriateness of floats and T-shirts that the teams or the student sections wear and stuff like that.
I remember there was a T-shirt that was around Mount Pleasant last year that we couldn't wear, but I think we were able to save one of them at least.
Yeah, so we're hoping that one doesn't show up.
As a fan, I think it's appalling. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about, kind of what's happening right now in terms of activities, the sports we have going on, and, how things are looking from your perspective.
Right. Well, I want to start with, our student section and the support that our students are giving each other right now. We had an assembly earlier in the year, and a lot of people may not know this, but we're one of 207 schools, I think, that didn't have a coach or a player kicked out of a boys' event last year, and that's only about 56%. So we're extremely proud of that. And we talked a lot about sportsmanship. One of the things that we want all of our students to do, and all the fans, no matter what event it is to when the school song is playing, we want to stand up, get involved, clap along. And our students have done an amazing job so far this year. We don't see that it's going to change anytime soon. So sportsmanship is big, and we're real pleased at this point. Other things, volleyball, cross country, football, they're all going strong right now at the high school. Our volleyball team won against Burlington the other night in 3 straight sets, so they started the conference 1-0. Our cross country teams are both ranked highly in the state. Did real well this last weekend, and of course our football team started off 1-0. So there's a lot of great things going on.
Yeah, knock on wood. I'm curious. One of the questions that I have, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm curious about what the plans are for baseball in particular this year. I know we have a large building project going on, and I know it's kind of a big jump to this summer, but your thoughts on where we'll be playing maybe, or what the plans are for that particular sport?
Well, just so everyone knows, we would love to play at home, on the high school baseball field there on the high school campus. We're not real sure that that's going to be able to take place. There's a couple things that are going to happen. There's going to be a safety fence that's put in right field so the construction workers can start building on the new high school. The right field light pole has to be moved, so to have lights in right field may not be feasible. The water might have to be shut off, so we may not have restrooms or water to the concession stand. So there's a lot of moving parts right now that we're trying to figure out. One of the biggest ones we're trying to figure out right now is the cost to make a higher fence in right field.
Like a green monster?
A green monster that looks like a black net is what we're thinking about. So
well, you can't be the green monster, so
right.
maybe it's the black net.
Yeah, so
it's catchy.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at to see what the cost is. Eventually, we're going to have a higher fence out in right field anyway, because the school is going to be a lot closer and take a little bit of that right field away. The middle school games, baseball games, will be played out at the Wellness Park, as well as the freshman games and some of the JV games. We hope to play all the high school varsity games at the high school, but if that doesn't happen, unfortunately, the way it looks, we might be playing all road games this year, which isn't what we want. There's options. Some people threw out playing at Waco on their field. But that takes some work to get their field ready as well. And then we also have to maintain our baseball field, the area we're not using, or that we're not using, that still needs to be maintained. So there's a lot of things in the works right now that we don't have a ton of answers to, but we will real soon. I'd say within the next month we'll know for sure where those varsity baseball games are going to be played. Softball, it doesn't change softball. Their schedule stays as is. So,
any other kind of facility issues that you guys are dealing with, or personnel type things that you're looking to kind of fill in the next year?
We're always looking to make the facilities better. Our coaches do a great job, working and keeping their facilities looking great. There's always been talk about turf football, which Coach Ehret just brought up a little bit ago off camera. So
I think it's a fantastic idea. You should do it yet this year.
We would gladly take a $3 million sponsor, and they can throw it at. Maybe it's the hospital. Who knows?
Well, it's great when we can get these nice facilities after my last youngest child has gone through.
Yeah. So we're there's nothing big. If you look at some of our immediate needs, it's like lights at Case Field. Those are getting old. It's lights at the baseball field. Those are getting pretty old. So I would say those are some of our immediate needs. Case Field, the weight room, and the wrestling room, that's all really good shape yet. We are going to have a new gym at the high school. It won't be a competitive gym like the current one we have, but it'll be, we can play games in there, so we'll have lower level basketball games in there. So when we have
old man ball too, will I be able to dunk in there?
Well, if you lower the rims enough, you probably can. So, but yeah, we'll have a new gym, so that will end up being 3 gyms at the high school. So it'll be a pretty big deal when the building's all done.
So we've talked mostly sports, but you're the activities director. Anything else you want to say about the activities that we have going on right now?
Yeah, the band's going real strong right now. If you were at the game Friday night, the band did a great job. We changed them up a little bit as far as their intro, and Mr. Hughes and Coach Ehret kind of worked out a new process of how the team comes onto the field, and Mr. Hughes did a great job accommodating that for us. They have their first competition, I don't think, is till the 17th of September, but they've done a great job. The cheerleaders, the cheerleaders did a great job on Friday night. Those are the main ones going on right now other than sports, but we're proud of everybody, what's happening right now in the Demon Nation. So we just keep it rolling this Friday night. I will put a plug out there. The volleyball team plays at home tonight against Minneapolis, so we hope we have a good showing tonight and to support the team.
Well, Brent, I appreciate you being here. We're going to go to commercial, and then when we come back, we will have Coach Nick Ehret and Braden Hartman.
Yep, thanks.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Welcome back to the inaugural edition of the Washington Demons Coaches Show. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Thank you for joining us today. I'm joined in the studio now by head football coach, Washington Demons head football coach, Nick Ehret, and our big left tackle, Braden Hartman. I kind of gave away my first question to Braden, what position do you play, but I think everybody knows where he plays. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
I want to start with you, Coach Ehret. You're now in your second year at Washington. First year, I'm sure you spent time getting to know the system, getting to know the program, getting to know some of the players and things like that. You finished last year really strong. I think, first of all, the beginning of last year's schedule was really difficult, if I remember correctly, in terms of the level of competition you had. But this year, you guys, I've seen adjustments that you've made. I was curious, kind of how have you approached that and what adjustments have you kind of made, over the course of this time?
Yeah, coming in last year, first year, a lot of adjustments for me. Everyone in the program, the players, the coaches have been around it for a long time, and it was really me that was playing catch up and trying to get adjusted to some things. And yeah, we had a tough schedule to start the year. We had some injury problems. We just had a lot of adversity last year. And a lot of it was on me. I don't think we handled it as well last year. So a big thing with us in the off season and talking with our seniors was, that's a mark of a good team. 'Cause there's always going to be adversity, and can we overcome that? And so, when we started with our leadership in the winter and carrying over into the spring, we really wanted our older guys, our senior class, to take some ownership in it and really lead our team, because I think the best teams are player-led. We're just here as coaches to put them in the best position possible, and we let them go do their thing. So, it's been a real big change from last year to this year.
Yeah. Well, I certainly noticed it in the Burlington game last week. I noticed a couple of things. One, I think the physicality of this team. Maybe it's because you had so many injuries last year also. I think you started last year with like 16 guys already sidelined or something ridiculous like that. And then, but the physicality of this team seemed different to me. And then, so you can comment on that. But also, did you put Patty under center?
We did, yes. This is these are some things that year two I brought in. I come from my dad was coach for 35 years, and last year, did you guys ever go under center? You ever going to go under center? You ever use a fullback, anything like that? And that was something that I definitely wanted to change this year, because we have guys like Braden, and we want our identity to be a physical team up front first and foremost. We got the guys to do that on both sides of the ball. We want to be able to run the ball, control the clock, and get stops when we need to. So that was really something we've tried to preach to our guys of, hey, we want to be the physical team, and we want to, when we get up against teams like Burlington that we know are going to be physical, we can match them.
Well, I love it. That's the style of football we used to play. Like, I felt like before we didn't have a play that, could get us 1 yard. We could get a play that could get us 70 yards, but 1 yard was hard.
Correct. Yeah, we just, it just comes back to being consistent, right? And putting these guys in position to be successful. And, 2nd and 6 is a lot better than 2nd and 12, right? So, and again, we have the personnel to do it. We're very fortunate. We're able to knock on wood, hopefully continue to two platoon and rest guys. We can march an offense on, hopefully go on a long drive, take them off, and we got a fresh defense coming on. So we feel like we're built for that this year.
So what did you take away from the Burlington game?
It just, the grit that our guys showed, because Burlington came right out and, they marched right down the field and scored, and we had a quick series, and then they were marching again. But, like we've been telling them, there's going to be adversity. We knew they were going to come out. They were going to hit us in the mouth, and we got to be able to take it. And we did. We came up with a stop when we needed to, and then our offense took over. So just that resiliency that they showed, that's been great to see.
And I was interested. You guys had video screens down on the sidelines, and I thought that was interesting. With this platoon system, it seems like you can get guys off the field and get them sort of coached up with their respective units, between series and things like that. I think that was a pretty neat thing that I saw.
Yeah, it's the technology. We tell these guys all the time, the technology that is at their disposal is just phenomenal. Coach Kelly was saying the other day they had to use a VCR and rewind, and they were looking at him like they have no idea what a VCR is. But yeah, the technology that we have available is just incredible. We have instant replay plays right there on the iPad on the sideline, and so it's a really invaluable tool, especially like you said, when we can bring 11 guys off and sit them down, get them a drink, and then show them, hey, this is what the last 5-6 plays look like. That's a tremendous tool for us to adjust in game.
Well, I want to get into next week here in a second, but I wanted to switch over to Braden here for a second. So, Braden, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? What position you play? What positions do you play? What if you have any plans for next year yet? Kind of say hi to your parents if you want. Hi, Matt and Joni.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I play left tackle, and then this past week I actually played everywhere on the D-line, so that was fun.
What is your preference?
Definitely left tackle.
Left tackle?
That's my thing, yeah.
So when you're in the middle of a game, are you actually counting pancakes?
No, I usually like to count those after.
Count them after, okay. And would you say, so I saw you get your helmet ripped off in the middle of this game. Would you say your reaction to that was calm, or how would you describe that particular reaction?
My reaction was calm enough. And
it looked to me like you were spitting blood. Was that actually happening, or was I imagining that?
I was spitting up blood on the sideline in the locker room at halftime. I threw up, and there's definitely some blood in there. So that was fun.
I love football. So do you have any plans yet for next year? Are you planning to play football at the next level?
I'm looking to play football at the next level, but I'm not sure where yet.
Alabama?
If Saban comes calling, that's what I'll do.
So if you need help with an NIL deal, I'm your guy, all right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what a CEO of a hospital does, but that's something I can help you with, all right? So how'd you feel about the game last week?
I felt really good about it. I think all of our guys, they came out, like we said earlier, we got punched in the mouth a little bit at first, but they came back, and we stuck it to them.
I felt like there was a point in the game where you guys sort of started to believe. I could see a noticeable turn. I think it was the first turnover maybe, or maybe it was when actually you got your helmet ripped off, where all of a sudden, we were going to win that game. And I just felt the tide turn, and you guys were just bowed up and you were just taking people out, and that was a lot of fun to watch. So I hope you felt that way. Hope you keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
So, Coach, what are we thinking this week? We got Mount Pleasant away. What little I know about them, they look to be sort of pass heavy. So I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, obviously it's a rivalry game and it's at their place, so it's going to be a tough environment. Especially for us defensively, we're going from an old school smash you in the mouth team to someone that's going to spread it out and throw it a little more. So, our focus on defense has been a little bit different. Offensively, we're still planning to go down and hopefully control the line of scrimmage, run the football, get Patty some good throws and get our guys open. But, anytime Washington and Mount Pleasant play, it's going to be a good game.
This is for my son. Can you confirm for me that the tight end is the most athletic and probably most valuable player on the field? We've had this debate for a lot of years, and he won't give me any credit for it.
Well, I can confirm that our tight end, Evan Vandermolen, is a pretty athletic guy, yes, and we're trying to get him a little more involved this week. But, yes, I think the tight end, it's certainly the most diverse position because you got to be able to block, you got to be able to catch it. Some guys maybe even in the run game a little bit. So it's a very valuable position.
Or in my case, almost none of the above. But my son is the punter and kicker. So there we go.
That's true. Yeah, we get him the ball every chance we get.
Well, I don't know how much time we have left, Nick, but 20 minutes.
20 minutes right now.
Okay.
You can, whatever.
All right. Keep going. So what do you see for sort of the rest of the season? How are we matching up with, we've got, I think, Solon in a few weeks. I think last I saw they were number 1. I think Harlan got knocked off maybe. Mm-hmm. How do you see this season shaping up? I know without jinxing yourself or without getting too far ahead of things.
Well, our first 6 games, our whole schedule is tough, but like you said, last season, it hasn't changed to this season. So, we've got a tough rivalry game this week. Then we're at home versus CCA. They're a 4A team that made the playoffs last year. Fort Madison's another 4A team that's on the rise. They've had real great seasons. And then we opened district with Grinnell and Solon, who were 1 and 2 in the district last year. So Fairfield has a really good team. Keokuk, they throw the ball all over the place, which is gives us problems. And then we end with West Burlington, and that was a dogfight with them last year. So we have a very tough 9 games. Like we told our guys, there's no one on our schedule we don't think we can beat, but if we don't show up, there's no one that can't beat us. So, we just got to come prepared every week, match that intensity that we had last week. I think we match up well with everybody, and I think hopefully, again, knock on wood, if we stay healthy and we can platoon, I think that's definitely an advantage for us. So we're looking forward to Friday night and the rest of the season.
And like we talked about on the square the other day during, I don't know if it was your meal or whatever it was. I don't know why we were there together, to be honest with you. The goal is to play when it's really cold and then to play when it's nice and room temperature.
Correct, yes.
And those are the 2 goals I'm sure you have for this team this year.
Yes, absolutely.
How about guys that are kind of coming up through the ranks, any young players that you're looking to kind of really contribute this year and really stand out for you that maybe are already contributing? A bunch of guys I didn't know on the team already.
Yeah, we played, I think, Coach Chambers, we played 26 guys last Friday, and a good chunk of those are juniors that are getting their first action. We have quite a few sophomores that are getting their first action as well. So, juniors, Luke Beingblossom, he's playing receiver. He had a couple real big catches for us. Offensive line-wise, our whole right side, our new to varsity line play. Lucas Oz, our center. Lucas Ricky is our right guard, and Summit Keith is our our right tackle. Those guys have done a great job for us. Defensively, Mason Morgan, he plays safety for us. He had some real big tackles.
Yeah, he had noticeable play.
Yes.
He looked really good.
Last Friday, absolutely. Cason Evans, he played some last year, but he had a big game for us. Linebacker, Logan McDowell, Alec Weelden, and Austin Rebling, those are older guys, but they're getting, in their positions, their first taste of varsity action. So we have a lot of guys that, last Friday was their first varsity game. And, it's a big step to go from JV or maybe even not playing at all last year to varsity. So
a couple guys I really noticed, Jude Brown, I don't know where he came out of nowhere for me. Like I was trying to figure out who, I think he was number 22. I was like, who is that kid? I've never seen him before.
Jude, he's had a great off season. Last year he played line for us last year and he had some injury issues, and so he just didn't get on the field much. But then throughout the winter and the summer, he hit the weight room hard, and he runs well. He's a big, strong kid, and obviously he's a nice compliment to Taven in the backfield.
Yeah, Taven had a great game, too. I think I read he had a 120-yard game and, 3 scores? He had all of our scores, I think.
Yep.
Well, Ethan had the 3 extra points.
He did, yes. I think Taven, there was a couple times last year, I think Ethan kept the ball and Taven wanted it, so I think Taven was making sure that when we got close, he was going to get in that end zone this time. So,
all right, Braden, I got a couple questions for you. New helmets, how do you feel about them?
I love them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm told that you guys have New Jersey this year. So, and I'm told that's kind of up to the senior leaders to figure out when that's going to happen. Are you going to tell me when you're going to reveal that?
I don't think any of us even know that yet, so I can't tell you anything.
So who are the team captains?
It's me, Deshaun Westfall-Edwards, Ethan Patterson, and James Strabla.
Okay, so that's the group I need to be pressuring to find out when we're going to wear these jerseys, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm really looking forward to just being with my guys one last time. I've had a lot of fun, especially at practices this year, just being around my friends again.
I don't remember enjoying football practice, actually.
Yeah. Neither did I until this year.
It's better than wrestling practice, but no offense. No offense.
Yeah, they're all fun.
All right. So I want to thank my guests in the studio today, Brent Van Welden, Coach Nick Ehret, Braden Hartman, big left tackle. And I want to wish you guys the best of luck this week. I'll be down in Mount Pleasant tomorrow night rooting you on in a very respectful manner, Mr. Van Weelden.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for joining us on this inaugural edition of the Washington Demons Coach Show. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Thanks, and have a great day.